Today, we're still in the heart of Birmingham, Alabama. I'm still joined by Carolina Tony. Today we're going to check out the Sloss Furnace Factory. Again, this is another location that we've been to before, but we're going to get a little bit better look at it today, and we get to have good company while we're doing it. Join us, shall you?
Follow us.
I couldn't think of anything else. The Sloss Furnace Factory here in Birmingham put Birmingham, Alabama on the map. Birmingham was a very small town until this factory was built. The Sloss Furnace Factory here carried steel all the way to New York to build its skyscrapers. It carried steel all the way to Detroit to build automobiles. Virtually, it carried steel all over the country. And there were many places throughout the country that relied on the steel from this factory to survive and to make their products. Because of that, it virtually turned the city of Birmingham, Alabama into a metropolis overnight. Everyone flocking here looking for jobs. Birmingham, Alabama blew up because of this one factory. Now, we have come back here today with Tony. It's kind of an extension from yesterday. We were at the Vulcan, and the iron that made that Vulcan was brought to life right here in the furnaces at Sloss Furnace Factory. I'm not sure why, but for some reason, the Birmingham Police Crime Scene Unit is here. I don't know if maybe somebody got murdered and their body was tossed down into the furnaces or what. There's more than one of them even. So there's something going on. Right here, located on the site, is what they called the Beehive Coke Oven. Originally, there was 120 of these ovens on site, which was used to feed the furnaces over here. Right next to it, they have an old Frisco, the Frisco 4018. It's one of the locomotives that was used to haul the iron ore and the coal into the property here. This locomotive was in service for 33 years, and it's been on display since 1952. All right, this nice gentleman that's repainting, trying to restore the locomotive as much as possible, is going to allow us to come up there with him, and he's going to tell us a little bit about it. That's amazing. Basically, it's like it's just a series of knobs.
Yeah, this is your firebox right here. That's called a butterfly fire door. They swung out like that.
Well, that's neat.
And so you build your fire in there, and then your boiler is right in front of you. And that's where you're producing your steam to run your steam engine right here.
Cool deal. Over here they got a, over here they have this. It's set up as decoration now, but in the heyday of the plant, of the furnace, the water, the hot water coming from the boilers in the furnace, it would come down these large pipes, which are no longer in operation. The water would be fed through those giant pipes out here. It would shoot it up into the air like it's doing right now, and then come fall back down into this pond, which would cool the water off. It would cool that hot boiling water from the furnace off, and then it would be recycled back into the plant to go through the same thing again. Very interesting. But what's neat though is behind it is this pulley system here. But you can see the giant wheels here Oh, and the bearings are still good in them. They still spin. That's cool. Now, if you look down at the other end of the tracks, you'll see a train car down there. All right. Now, this pulley system would pull those carts back and forth without having to have a locomotive push it. So over here we have the motor. Right here is the old motor. It used this giant, real thick steel cable here. All right. Now, this cable went up onto this platform here and then came back down to these two round wheels. The cable would shoot out of the wheel via this pulley right up, and they would attach it to one of those carts that could pull it all the way down to the end of the line right there. All right, so those pulleys, like I said, would pull your carts up. One would come up and the other one would go down, and it would pull it from right here. Now, this is some kind of contraption, I'm assuming, that would load the carts. Yeah, and the track's missing now, but you could see that the carts would follow right up this ramp, go right up to the top of it there, and then it would load the train cars. Here we got this really cool gate, man. Really cool, just made out of twisted metal. Very neat. Of course, this is the entrance to get into the factory. You purchase your ticket and all out here, and you come through this gate to get into it. And then we have the Sloss Furnace Factory. Man, that's a good shot right there. Right here in front of us, this is an old molten steel bucket. So, you know, this would be attached to a crane, or it could even be attached to this lift here. And it would be filled with the molten steel after it was heated up and turned into a liquid. And right here, they've got it capped off, but this was the beginning of a rail system. Basically, the way it works, you see we got the tracks here coming in, all right? The trains would come in and they had these special compartments on the bottom that would open up. So it would pull and it would stop right over this point right here. You can see it's slanted and metal down here at the bottom. It would release all the iron ore down, that would go down into piles underneath this metal area here, and then the buckets would come down below it, scoop it up and carry it up to the top of the furnace, where it would then drop it off into the furnace so that it could begin heating, turn into a molten steel. It's very, very cool process. This whole factory is just really cool. Oh no, what happened to this guy? You can see the bullet holes and blood stains in his glove. So apparently the CSI vans we saw outside, they're doing a training mission here. So it just so happened to be they were here at the same time as we are. Here's some of the guts of the factory down here.
This is the bottom.
Top.
Sloss Furnace.
Here's the furnaces that would be on fire. They would have to keep stoking them, and this is what ran the factory right here. It's funny though, this is a steel factory, but the steel used to run this factory was made somewhere else, in Chattanooga. It's a pretty cool shot right there of all the smokestacks towering up into the sky. And you can even see that each one of them has a ladder that goes all the way up. Could you imagine having to be the person to climb all the way to the top of the ladder, up at the very top of the smokestacks? They have it blocked off, but if you've seen any of the news reports that talks about, wait, I just saw something down there already. Jesus, I just got here. Anyways, all the reports that talk about how wormwood is haunting the place and they hear all kind of noises. This is that haunted tunnel right here. It is full of water, or not full, but it looks like probably about an inch or two of water down there. But that's the haunted tunnel. We can't get down there because obviously the floor is covered in water and they don't want people getting hurt. But that's it. The haunted Sloss Furnace Tunnel. What I can do is, I have been down there before and I have filmed it and I still have that footage and I'll show it to you right now. This was absolutely the coolest tunnel I've ever been through in my life. This is an excavator of yesteryear. They don't make them like this anymore. This massive contraption here is called a blast furnace, and this thing towers up into the sky above us. So Tony, just imagine back in, say, 1900, this plant was just overrun with activity.
Yeah.
And these places that we're walking, like this set of stairs here behind us, hundreds of employees were walking up and down this, working every day.
And it was hot too.
Yeah.
120 degrees inside this place.
Same as daily.
Being in here in the guts of this factory is just too cool, just to be able to see all this.
Absolutely.
We're gonna interrupt their crime scene so we can get through to the next area.
That was a big one there.
Throw away all the juice right before this.
Every time I see this right here, it reminds me of Batman, the original 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton. You know, right before the Joker goes into the water, like a shot or something hits one of these dials and it blows off into Jack Nicholson's face, and then he falls over into the acid. I know this recreation of a crime scene here, this person got completely messed up. I'm just gonna say, big old hook to the back of the head. Looks like before they hung him up, they cut him up. And I don't know about you guys, but this thing right here is cool as hell looking. It looks like a spider with a giant hook under it. Well, that is it for the Sloss Furnace Factory here in Birmingham, Alabama. Actually, that's our last day together here in North Alabama as well. I have to get back down south. We are going to be getting ready for a theme park video coming up, so we have that to look forward to. I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure, if you have not subscribed yet, because we're fixing to hit 7,000 subscribers, make sure you go down and hit subscribe. Click the bell, that way when I release the video to win the action camera, you'll get notified so you can enter to win it. I want to thank Carolina Tony for tagging along with us today again. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day.